Hello and welcome to CATSweek. I'm Annalise Poorman. At the Monroe County Commissioners meeting on June 28th, one of the first items of new business was the Indiana Department of Health Preparedness Grant Amendment, presented by Health Department Director Lori Kelly for the amount of $25,000.
This is just an annual renewal for funding for our emergency preparedness program. So this funding allows us to have a part-time assistant and also allows us to purchase supplies and services for the program.
After no comment from the commissioners or the public, the vote passed 3-0. Next, the commissioners voted on the Health Department School Liaison Grant Amendment, presented again by Kelly in the amount of $440,000.
This is extending the current contract number an additional year. So this funding is going to support the salary expenses of our school liaison to work with all of the area schools for support.
Questions or comments?
No, I don't.
No questions. And if you would take a minute just to explain to the public what kind of work the liaison does.
Yes, so the school liaison is responsible for having quarterly meetings, for meeting with each of the schools and ensuring that their communicable disease plans are updated and accurate, for assisting with education and outreach. This could be education from as simply as hand hygiene to CPR courses. And so the position really is supposed to be actively involved with all of the schools and helping to promote the work of the health department and ensuring that the schools have access to vaccines as well.
The motion was approved 3-0. One of the first actions taken at the Monroe County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on June 28th was to remove Sojourn's amended zoning variance from the agenda. Board Chair Margaret Clements explained that since the board had heard the variance request back in March of 2023, they did not have to hear it again for 12 months. The board previously voted to deny the use of the residential home as a women's shelter because the neighbors had expressed concern about upkeep for the property, as well as non-residential activity happening in the area.
I'd also like to make a motion that the Sojourn House petition for variance 23-5 be removed from the agenda because we've heard the case within the last 12 months. And I'd like to affirm our rules and procedures that an appeal or petition which has been decided against the petitioner shall not again be placed on the docket for consideration by the board within a period of 12 months from the date of decision previously rendered, except upon the motion of a member and adopted by a unanimous vote of all members present at a regular special meeting thereof. So I make that motion with regard to tonight's agenda.
However, there was some pushback to the motion. Assistant Planning Director Tammy Behrman said that since the petition has been amended, they can resubmit their petition.
Staff would like to add that this is an amended petition.
Yes.
And under the Monroe County Zoning Ordinance 812-3K, which is on page 66 of the staff packet, and there was a typo, which is in my slide presentation. I was going to correct that. But under 812-3K, it states, if the Board of Zoning Appeals denies the application for variance approval, the applicant may file an amended application. If the amended application is filed within 6 months of the board's denial of the original application, the applicant shall not be charged for an application fee.
Clements called for a roll call on the motion to remove the petition from the agenda.
Having been filed, the Board of Zoning Appeals has determined not to hear it for the 12-month period. And so we've made that motion. It's been seconded, and please call the roll.
Board member Pamela Davison asked a clarifying question regarding how much of the petition had been amended. Behrman responded.
May I ask a question first? Does the amended nature change that? You just read the other regulation. Is it amended substantially enough to, those two regulations can be counter to one another.
Sure.
So which ways?
They have submitted a letter from their legal representation. It's a 10-page letter that has been submitted. And then they also have submitted a draft written commitment that they would record should this pass through the Board of Zoning Appeals. And that is a significant enough amended petition to staff. There was also a few other things were included, as well as some other remonstrance and support letters associated with this petition.
Again, Clements called for a roll call.
We disagree. A motion has been made. It's been seconded. Please call the roll.
The motion passed 3-1, with Pamela Davison voting no in support of hearing the amended zoning variance. Board Member Dee Owens was not present. Clements summarized the results of the motion.
So item number 6, VAR-23-5, Sojourn House Incorporated as amended use variance to Group Home Class 2 in Chapter 802 concerning one parcel of 7.73 plus or minus acres at 7505 East Kirk Creek Road has been removed from tonight's agenda. Thank you.
The next County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be held on July 20th. At the Monroe County Convention and Visitors Commission meeting on June 27th, the Commission reviewed Visit Bloomington's 2022 Community Tourism Report and the 2021 Economic Contribution of Tourism Report. In the report, the Commission said that people engaging in sports within the county have increased since the beginning of the pandemic. Executive Director of Visit Bloomington, Mike McAfee, highlighted the increased number of people who are playing on Indiana University's golf course.
Sports marketing, aquatics, track and field, golf have just continued to explode for us since after the pandemic. So much stuff going on with that. A lot of things we do during the summer are services, providing meals for the teams and the coaches, and it's hospitality for that. It's very important. That's one of the only ways we get them here is when we do that. But so lots of things happening with that. I mentioned the card farm, the turf field stuff coming up. We have to be, again, that's going to help us so much. The attraction that people want is they want to come to Bloomington, they want to be in the college town, they want to do all the things that they can do while they're here playing sports. So that's beautiful, and to have those championship level turf fields out there is definitely going to make a difference. But it isn't all of a sudden going to make us Grand Park or Deaconess Field that has hotels and restaurants and water parks attached to them. But it certainly puts us a little bit more competitive, and so we're very excited about that. And again, we'll be ready to talk at the commissioner meeting and the council meeting coming up about what some of those specific opportunities are and the impact of that. So really looking forward to that. Like I said, golf has just continued to explode. We thought golf was dead before the pandemic, but it certainly came back. Again, because people can be outside and spaced out, but obviously the foul course and its opening around that time has been a real coup for this area. Ranked one of the top, 20 courses in the country. We've been having great luck partnering with French Lick and doing extended trips, come play in Bloomington, go play in French Lick type of stuff. Just all kinds of interest in that.
McAfee also discussed Visit Bloomington's leisure marketing campaigns. Their top performing campaigns included music, arts, outdoors, and culinary events.
Leisure marketing, we're running digital, radio, outdoor, print, really mainly in Indianapolis, Chicago, Louisville, Evansville, Fort Wayne, Terre Haute, and Cincinnati. Not every single one of those mediums and every one of those markets. It's a mix of all that type of stuff, what we can afford, timing-wise, campaigns, things like that. Again, Jordan Smith has just started, and Laura and I have been leading him through that and training him and all that. So, but response to that has been great. I hope if you can't read it, I put some reports in here. We're holding steady with web traffic to last year. Last year was a record year for us with web traffic. We're right even with that for the year. You can see we were if you look at that first graph there, 21, 22, and 23 were down a little bit in April and May, but we were up in the first part of the year. But we'll be right there at the end of the year. And the next page kind of shows you top campaigns and how they're performing. You can see some of the things we already talked about today, music. You know, we're really out there promoting arts, culinary, and outdoors are the main things in our leisure marketing. I don't think I've ever shared this one with you, that third graph, overall referral performance. So that shows you, and again, this is the month of May, but it shows you what people are clicking on our website. It makes sense. They clicked on Four Winds, Lake Monroe, Paynestown State Rec area. In May, it was National Donut Day in May. That's why Crescent Donut was on there.
I was ahead of my place. I was a little,
Right.
what's going on here?
You know, like Starlight Drive-ins because they open during May, that type of stuff. So anyway, that's good stuff that's on there. I always like to share stuff like that. You know, going to the next page, that red outdoor art. We've got a billboard. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but on the north side of town, going to Indy, near Oliver Winery, we've had a billboard welcoming people. We just have never been able to get it to where we like it, to where we think people notice it. So we just switched it to red. So you won't miss it now when you are coming in and that type of stuff. But these are just examples of some display ads and things like that. And, you know, getting back to what I was talking about.
He shared that Visit Bloomington is also working to promote Bloomington as an arts and music destination. He said that they are trying to draw approximately 3,000 concert goers per outdoor performance, and that Visit Bloomington is looking to start a Thursday night concert series throughout the months of June, July, and August.
We've been promoting road trips. Basically, the marketing, I think you can see it on one of these, is take a summer music road trip. We've been promoting those in Chicago, Indy, Louisville, Portland, you know, all those markets that I've talked about. Again, try to get people here on that Thursday, get them to stay over, go to Food Truck Friday or whatever it is they want to do over the weekend, and grow awareness for Bloomington as an arts and music destination. And again, help activate the Switchyard Park as a site of concerts that draw more visitors.
In April 2024, the Commission is expecting between 500,000 and 2 million people to travel to Bloomington to view the total solar eclipse. To prepare for this many visitors, the Commission and community leaders plan to meet soon to discuss managing an event surrounding the eclipse. The Monroe County Community School Corporation School Board met on June 27th. At the meeting, the board approved meal prices for school lunches for the year 2023-2024. The meal prices will remain the same as the previous school year.
Before you tonight are the recommended meal prices for the 23-24 school year. We are recommending no changes to meal prices for next school year. This is arrived at by Mr. Matt Tomrell, Food Services Director. As a reminder, meals were free for students and families for 2 years during COVID, and full analysis since that time has led us to the logical/good conclusion that we do not need to raise meal prices based on cash balance and some management plans for the upcoming year. It's the first time in my 6 years we have not raised meal prices. So we weren't even sure if we had to bring it if we weren't going to raise prices, but we certainly wanted to inform the board, let them know that this is where the food services area of the school corporation is landing for next year.
The board also approved a resolution to put a tax increase of 8.5 cents on the ballot in November. The money raised from the tax increase will help expand and fund early childhood education. It will also help eliminate student and family fees for K through 12.
Good evening, board, and thank you. I'm excited to bring to you Resolution 2023-12, referendum tax levy resolution. This recommendation comes after a significant amount of public conversations that includes community leader focus groups. That comes after a significant number of meetings with our preschool providers and other leaders in the community involved in preschool. I see Jennifer Meyer sitting back there. from the Community Foundation of Monroe County. It comes after a public meetings where we could share our plans and basically share what we consider needs that are going unfulfilled or with our community and our families, which is why we've arrived at a family-centered and community-focused list of areas that we hope to address. And we believe this referendum would do that. And we know, and as mentioned by Association President Paul Farmer, we know that preschool is one of the big things when it comes to effect size. One of the largest effects we can have in terms of as an investment is early childhood education. We know that we have talked about this. Paul goes back to a conversation in what year did you say? In 2009. For 20 years, there's been a conversation at the state level of this being a need. We know that Indiana is one of the few states that doesn't fully fund an early childhood program. So what we are asking our local community members to do is to invest in it locally, and that is to invest a few cents of property tax levy to make sure that early childhood education is accessible. This fits nicely within our strategic plan. It fits nicely within the equity goals that we have outlined, and it fits nicely within our goals to make sure that our students are ready to learn when they enter kindergarten. And we know currently that approximately 50% of our students entering kindergarten are unserved or underserved in early childhood education. We know there are financial barriers that are significant. We know that there are capacity issues. We've had lots of conversations with our community providers. There just simply isn't the funding necessary to hire the staff needed. So we have classrooms that are currently unstaffed. So therefore, we can't have, of course, preschool students in those rooms. And we also know that there isn't enough capacity. Funding is one of the significant barriers we face. And so it is a hallmark of this proposal. We also, as you look into the details, are addressing other family-centered areas of need. That's eliminating some of the tuition costs that exist for some of our career center courses, some of our testing costs to eliminate barriers for students that may have to pay upwards of almost $500 to be certified as a CNA, for example, or to take a welding exam. We don't want expenses or fees or costs to be a barrier to our students reaching their career or their post-secondary goals. We also know that supplies can be costly for families. And through this, we hope to eliminate the cost of supplies, consumables, and other instructional fees that many of our families face.
District Superintendent Jeff Hauswald reported that someone with a $250,000 home would see a $50 increase in taxes per year with the new increase. The board unanimously approved the resolution. Board members Cathay Fuentes-Rohr and April Hennessy shared their support for the new tax increase.
I'm just very, very excited. I was not at the university meeting, but I had all 4 kids in school in 2010. And this is something that is, I mean, if we wait for the legislature to fund early childhood, it'll never happen. There were a lot of groups pushing for early childhood funding this past session, and instead they diverted funds away to private hands and to the wealthy. And so I think this is an opportunity for our community to come together and center children and center families that are the most vulnerable. And I'm really excited at this. This is a really courageous thing to do. And it's the right thing to do, as you said.
Yeah, no, I agree totally, Kathy. I mean, I will say, when the superintendent first proposed this idea in a meeting, I said, absolutely not. There's no way. But it's not because I don't think that it's the right thing to do. It was just that I was worried on the heels of our last referendum about asking this community for more money again. And, it's a tough thing to do, especially in this current climate. We know a lot of people are still struggling on the heels of COVID and the past few years. And so I think, I just want to say to our community that I recognize and acknowledge that this is another ask. And I think that it's a really, really important one, or we wouldn't be bringing it to you. And I fully support it. I did joke that we should get signs that said Groundhog Day or something like we're back. But no, I think it's such a worthy cause. And so obviously fully support this.
The board will meet again on July 6th and is likely to discuss various decisions about the new tax increase and how it will be voted on by the public. And that is all for CATSweek. Thank you for joining us. For CATS and WFHB, I'm Annalise Poorman.